welcome to Ceazor Snack Sandwich. Today we're taking a look at Tangible. Now, Tangible is a project that was just introduced to me a little while ago, and today I decided to read through the docs and take a look at what this project is. Now, there's a lot here. There's quite a bit, so I read the docs. I would suggest you, as always, read the docs, try to understand what this thing is, try to get all the little details out of it. But I'll give you a quick overview to see if you're interested in this, and then you can go and dive deeper into it. So Tangible's goal is to take tangible items and NFT them. So turn real world assets or real world things into NFTs so that they become more easily tradable, right? So like if you had a bottle of wine and you wanted to sell it to somebody, so $48,000 bottle of wine, you would have to deliver that wine to them somehow and deal with the negotiation as well as the transfer of payments and so forth. Whereas here, it's all done on the blockchain through NFTs and NFT marketplace. So it's pretty good. So let's go into the docs and I'll explain to you a little bit more. But before I go to the docs, I should probably show you the different products. So they have wine, they have gold bars, they have watches, and they have real estate. So these are currently the items that they've already NFTized, or I guess minted as NFTs, and they're here ready to be purchased and so forth. Now, as you can see, they do have fractionalized, so you can if you are the owner of this property or the owner of this bottle of wine, you could mint it, hold most of the NFT yourself, fractionalize it, and sell some percentage of it if that was something you decided you wanted to do. Okay, so let's go over here and we'll talk a little bit about a few things that are important in the docs. So here's like a user, he wants to get to buy one of these NFTs. So let's say he goes to the marketplace, he buys one of those NFTs. Now he has minted that NFT and it's sent to him and it's sitting in his wallet. He is the owner of that product. However, that product is a real world product and it cannot just be sitting on the blockchain, right? So what's going to happen is the Tangible the entity will buy that bottle of wine and put it into storage. It might just stay in the storage. They might be buying it from the storage, just transferring ownership. So then they don't actually need to move it or anything like that. But so you see there's a storage fee here. Now, if you own the NFT, then you're responsible for paying the storage of that bottle of wine or that watch or that gold bar inside the vault. And if you don't pay that storage fee, then they might repossess basically liquidate your position. They'll repossess that wine and then you have a useless, valueless NFT, right? So make sure you understand the storage fee before you're going to do it. Now it does have a dotted line here for the USDC because you pay with USDC, but I'm not sure if they actually off-ramp this USDC to make this purchase, or maybe they have a large, bank account full of dollars somewhere and they're going to use that and they don't mind holding both sides of this bridge. I don't know if there's an actual off-ramp here or not. Okay, now there's some more here. So let's say this guy wants to sell his NFT on the marketplace, so he lists it and this guy comes and buys it just like above, right? So he gets the item fee, right? How much he's selling it for. But the marketplace takes 2.5%. Now this is important because this 2.5% goes to the stakers. It basically is used for the governance token of Tangible. And I'll get into that when I go to this last tab over here in the end. Okay, so we have these different categories. So we have gold, wine. It's probably important for you to research this Swiss security firm Protectus, because that's where, the bars will be held. And then the wines will be held in Octavian and the watches in this BQ watches, and then obviously the real estate doesn't need to be held anywhere. Now there's a lot here to the real estate that you need to kind of read and understand, but there's just a couple things. They're aiming for rental, so they want rental yield on the property. So they're going to rent it out, and that will be yield back to that NFT, right? So, and it'll come in the form of USDC. So if you hold those rental properties, you're going to get paid USDC, kind of like a monthly payment or so forth, right? Now, if they do these initial sales, so because maybe somebody has the property and they're like, hey, I want to put my property on here for sale, and then they'll do an initial sale, and if let's say all of it is purchased, of all of the fractions or the pieces are purchased, like 100%, then it's minted and everything's happy, right? But if it doesn't sell out 100%, right, after like there's another phase of a number of days, so they'll do it the first phase, and then phase 2 they'll try again, and then if it doesn't sell, then everybody gets their money back. Okay, so the USDC that you give in the initial investment will be refunded to you. It does. They have this vacancy reserve, so that like if there's a time where there's no tenant, then they'll hold some money in there to kind of to just use to make sure that the yield is consistent and constant, right? And then there's the management fee, of course, too, because they're going to take care of the tenants. They're going to take care of maintenance and repairs and all of this kind of legality and stuff like that. So they're going to take a 2% of the property value as a management fee. Okay, so over to the next product that I wanted to talk about is this USDR. Now, this is important because this is a USD stablecoin backed by these tangible, like these assets here, these different like NFT assets, in a sense. So how does it work? So when you want some USDR, you bring some a DAI, right? And you use a DAI to mint USDR 1-to-1, right? But this USDR is interest bearing. It's going to pay you dividends. It's going to grow as a rebase after some time, right? Because it's going to use some of the real estate, the rent from the real estate to subsidize this kind of thing. Now, there's a lot here to read, and I do suggest you to read it. But I did highlight a few things that I would like to go over and kind of point out and so forth. So they think that like the yield of 4.5 is too low. Okay, so they're kind of thinking that the yield right now will be about 4.25, but they're like, oh, it's 4.5 is too low. So until they get a large amount of TVL in here, they're going to subsidize it with their own tangible governance token, I guess you could call it their own governance token, right? So if you come up here, you can see this guy. Oh, he's got either deposits DAI or tangible tokens. So they're going to use these tangible tokens to back some of these USDR, and they defend this idea here. So they say that Frax has proven that having a stablecoin that's partially backed by a native token, they call it the native token, but like what we're talking about is the FXS, like the governance token of Frax, right? So they're saying that Frax has proven that, like, to some extent you can do this, and don't go too extreme, like Luna, right? But if you have a little bit, it's okay. So they're thinking that they're going to use some of their tangible tokens, and then they'll use those to back some of these tokens in order to boost this yield on the stablecoin, because it's a yield-bearing stablecoin, okay? And it'll just be rebasing. So there's a lot more to read here. You got to kind of read through this because they have this. They won't start rebasing until they have 130% over collateralization and all this kind of stuff. So read carefully, go through this, and you'll have a better understanding at that point. Now, the last thing, they have this tangible token, like I said, and there is some staking. There is some key things here. So they've taken the model of, the VE NFT. So, you can, when you stake, you do get an NFT, right? This is interesting. Let me read this to you. Native token rewards per block. One portion can be claimed immediately, while the rest can be claimed early by sacrificing future returns. So it's very, like, the longer you get, the more boost you get, the more rewards you get. Like, if you stake early and you hold it and don't claim your rewards, you will get more and more and more and more of these tangible tokens. And then as you start claiming, you start eating away at your boost and your ability to gain more and more. So if you want the most tangible tokens you could possibly get, the best thing to do would be to lock for 4 years and then forget about it, right? Now, nobody's going to do that. You adjust, you decide when's the best time, but that's kind of the idea, okay? So when you lock up governance tokens, right, basically you're going to share in the fees, right? So remember I showed you in the past, over here you get this 66% of this 2.5% of the marketplace is going to these tangible stakers, and then 33% will be buyback and burn, right? So that's these highlights right here, right? Now they just goes in here and does a lot of math on basically what I'm explaining, and there's this last thing here. Each time a new product is minted or sold on tangible market, a portion of the sale is used to purchase tangible tokens, which are then attached to the TNFT. So what is this talking about? Every time they mint like one of those bottles of wine NFTs, they're going to actually use some of that money to buy the tangible tokens, right? And then stick those tangible tokens attached as VE NFTs to that other NFT. So then when you get that NFT, you're also getting, like when you buy that pre-sale of that NFT, you're also getting a VE NFT of these tangible tokens, which is yield bearing. Now there is some math here. It does show you that, like, you know, some of they're incentivizing some of the products more than others. So like it would be better to do wine if this is something you want than it would be to do gold. And then there's a whole bunch of math, and you can read through that and so forth. Now, I think this is a pretty cool, interesting project. They're definitely trying their best to bring real world tangibility to the blockchain. And I like that there's a lot of projects that try to do this, but they're focused on one thing, because this is not something that's easy. Like they had to deal with the legality of, you know, buying and selling gold. They had to deal with the legalities of buying and selling wine, watches, and real estate. And they also have in here sneakers somewhere. I've seen sneakers somewhere. So anyways, that's pretty much it for today. Like I said, it's a pretty big project. So if you really want to know, I would, you know, get in the docs, you know, go over to the Discord, ask more questions, dig deeper, and decide whether or not you're interested in this project. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.